Welcome to Degrees of Separation, a podcast where we journey to learn how we are connected and who we are connected to.
It gives us at least a glimpse of how connected we all are.
From entrepreneurs and small business owners to difference makers and thought leaders throughout our communities. This is Degrees of Separation with Joshua Peacock and Daryl DJ Sales.
Hey, yo, what it is, what it do, man. We back off up in this thing. Uno más. One more time, man. Back off at this thing one more time, man. It's your host, Elder Joshua Peacock, man. We back again with another one. Welcome to Degrees of Separation, where we come to find out who we're connected to and how we're connected, and also the conversations and the the instances and society that connects us. Today, man, we got a very informative one, a good one, a topic that is a hot topic in the conversations in social media amongst people that's for it, people that's against it, and legislature, and we're gonna talk about all of that today. Hopefully, man, you get a better understanding of it, and you're able to make uh, a decision based off of the information that you receive. And always, man, I'm an advocate of this. Always do your research, man. Do your own research on whatever it is that whatever you're going to purchase, whenever you want to, a decision that you have to make. Make sure you do your own research, man. Let me see if I can change this real quick. There we go. Take this light off me. Back up off me. Yeah, just trying to get this light and everything situated. We're gonna rock with that though. But yeah, man. Um, yeah, you got to make an informed decision about your purchases, about your life, about your lifestyle, about anything that you want to do. You know what I mean? You don't want to go anything blind, just doing something. And today we're gonna talk about Constitution carry. I live in the great state of Florida. Hey, man, the great state of Florida, and uh, Florida gets a bad rap. First and foremost, man, Florida gets a bad rap. Everybody talks about Florida being chaotic, Florida being this, Florida being that. But during the pandemic, everybody was saying Florida was crazy still. Everybody was still saying Florida was crazy, but a lot of people flocked to Florida during the pandemic. Last year, there was about 2.6 million people moved to Florida. 2.6 million people moved to Florida. And that's a lot of folks. That's a lot of folks. Our infrastructure is being taxed. It's being strained. There's a strain on our infrastructure. Um, that's why they're pushing they're pushing solar energy, and I got solar panels and so on and so forth. But let's get back to the topic. Constitutional carry. Now, what's constitutional carry? It means it goes back to in layman's terms that you should not have to have any license or permit to carry a gun, concealed carry a gun. And if you hear any noise in the background, man, I got some Spanish neighbors, man, across the street from me. They jamming. It's almost 11 o'clock at night, man. And if you Spanish, if you know some Spanish folk, they can party all night long, man, and they still partying. So please excuse that if you hear some background noise. But nevertheless, man, constitutional carry, it just pretty much means that you can carry concealed weapon. You can have a concealed weapon without a permit, without a license by your government. And what a lot of people don't understand is a concealed weapon is just not it's not a gun. It's not just a gun. You can have brass knuckles in there. You can have tasers, you can have uh, knife, different things constitutes as a concealed weapon. And you'll find that out if you have a good enough or a well educated instructor that instructs you about those things. A lot of people just want to go straight to the um, the gun, you know, but it's more than that. It's, like I said, it's um, uh, different weapons that you can conceal on your body that normally, if you was caught with them, you would be charged or what have you. But a lot of people want to point to guns, and we're gonna talk about the different aspects of weapons that are used and the ones that are get demonized, such as guns and such as assault weapons, quote unquote assault weapons, like AR-15s. I have, you know, a few guns. You know what I mean? Not gonna tell you exactly what I have, but I have it. I have my concealed carry uh, license. You know, um, I've had it for a little bit now. You know what I mean? Anytime that uh, I'm out and about, it's on me. You know, it's on me. I will say that it's on me. You know what I mean? Because of the world that we live in, um, you know, and plus it's because of my right to have a weapon on me. You know what I mean? Um, so first of all, let's see what a concealed uh, weapon is. Let's see what those things constitute as a concealed weapon. Um, concealed uh, a concealed weapon means a weapon which is carried upon one's person body is not in plain view or discernible by ordinary observation. Um, let's see if I can find. Let me see if I can find different examples of concealed weapon. Examples of a concealed weapon, which is I know is um, the things that I've said, but I just want to see if I can find a little bit more. All right. Look at that. What is concealed carry charge in Florida? Concealed carry charge. Um, concealed weapons is these deadly weapons include dirks, tear gas guns, chemical weapons, billy, like a billy stick, uh, which the cops used to use, but they don't use anymore. Knives and metallic knuckles. You know, like what I call them, uh, brass knuckles. You know what I mean? Concealed firearms might include any starter guns, machine guns, and antique firearms that are used to commit a crime. But see how it always goes to use to commit a crime? Why does it have to be a crime that's committed for it to be called, considered concealed? It always, um, different people always want to demonize the weapon, and they say, well, what do you have a weapon for? And if you go to the Second Amendment, Second Amendment is the right to bear arms, a well-regulated, right to a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. All right. So I have to do a history lesson. America was founded on people using guns for their freedom, to defend their freedom and their right to freedom. Had it not been for those firearms, then America would still be under oppression. You would not have the rights that you have today. You know what I mean? America is a unique country, right? And a lot of people say, well, America has all these deaths by, guns, by gun violence, and so on and so forth. And they want to ban this, they want to ban that. Well, I exercise my right to the Second Amendment. And the Florida is the 26th state in the United States that will legalize or will recognize constitutional carry. Um, and now that makes the majority of the United States uh, have a constitutional carry, you know, and a lot of people want to say permitless carry. Well, I still think that, and what constitutional carry is, before go too far, is that again you have to have a, um, you don't have to have a permit or license to carry concealed. Now, before you would have to take a class, get some training, take that certificate that you receive from your training, and go up to the DMV or and then um, take a test, pass the test, pay like I think it's like $140, somewhere around there, $144, and then they mail you a license that says that you anytime you get pulled over, anytime that uh, you get caught with a weapon on you, you show them this, and you can take this and you can walk into Walmart or a store or a church or what have you, and have your weapon on you. Now it excludes schools, uh, uh, courthouses, businesses that have a sign that says they don't allow you know firearms, maybe your job, you know what I mean, things of that sort. And those things still are intact with the constitutional carry being intact, and it goes. The law is going to go intact, go in. It's going to go into law July 1st. That is the day it will be enacted, July 1st, 2023. And Governor Ron DeSantis has passed that law, and that's when it will go, and that's when it will be enacted. Um, Now, a lot of people might want to say that that gives the criminals uh, more people. Think it's gonna Everybody thinks it's gonna be the Wild Wild West, man. People believe it's going to be the Wild Wild West in Florida when there are 25 other states that support constitutional carry. 25 other states, you know, and let's look at what those states are. Constitutional carry states. And those are uh, Tennessee, Florida. Um, Let me see. Those will be Alaska, Arkansas, Georgia, Alabama, Arizona, Florida, um, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, Maine, Vermont, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, like I said, Arkansas, Missouri, um, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota. North Dakota is for residents only. Uh, Utah, uh, Montana, Idaho. Those are the constitutional carry. Those are the constitutional carry states. 26 of them. You don't hear nothing about the Wild Wild West happening in those states. Yes, there's going to be gun violence, but a person who is a law-abiding citizen should not have to be required to um, carry to protect themselves, to defend themselves. The quote unquote bad guy is not is not caring about the law. And first and foremost, this is not going to change anything really because people already carry weapons without a license. You think that people, just because the law is on the books, that people aren't going against that law? People still carry. I know people that carry weapons on them and don't have a license. Does that bother me? No. No, it doesn't bother me. Because that's what they want to do. They want to take if somebody's stealing out of a store, and I'm not there to witness it. I don't believe in thievery. I don't believe in people. I don't like thievery, and kleptomaniacs and things of that sort. But that's not a thought that is on my mind. I know it affects me because it makes the prices go up and things of that sort. But I'm not out there trying to, dictate who's stealing and who's not stealing. You know what I mean? And when it comes to constitutional carry, and it comes to people carrying, law-abiding citizens who want protection, want to carry, and don't want to spend that money on, taking the class, don't want to spend the money on, going up and paying for the license. Hey, that's their prerogative. But me personally, I would, um, I would suggest to anybody that I talk to anybody that's listening right now, if you're going to carry a firearm on you, which is not a toy, which is not a toy, I suggest that you get training on that thing. Anytime, if you go to a job and you're working with heavy machinery, or if you're working with something that could maim or kill you, they require training. You know what I mean? They require training for your safety. Now, should it be required for you to carry a weapon, without training? That's on you. I know people that go to a job and when training is going on, they're not paying any type of attention. They're not really concerned. And then when they get on the floor of the job and they hurt themselves, they maim themselves. I work in the industry where you're working with heavy machining, where I've seen where people have almost killed themselves. I've seen videos where people have killed themselves. I've seen videos where people have lost their members and their limbs, you know, because of not handling the equipment the proper way. If you're going to carry a weapon, I suggest that you get some training with it. But training and having a permit or a license is two different things. It's two different things. You can buy a car right now without any training, without any permit, without any license. But they want to say to operate that car, you should be able to, you got to have training and license, and all that sense. But when it comes to your defense, you should be able to defend yourself without having a license and still get the training. Get the training by all means necessary. Learn how to operate that weapon to the best of its ability, to the best of your ability, and know how to break it down, know how to deal with malfunctions and things of that sort. It's a responsibility to hold it. But should it be? I don't believe it should be a requirement for you to have a license, because I can get all the training in the world. That license is just saying, you know what, you know that you had the training. But I know, and some of these training places, they just running you through it. They just running you through it. So are you getting the proper training? That license says that you had training, but is it the proper training? You know what I mean? But you know, it's a hot topic debate, man. It's a hot topic debate. Now, um, let's get to the whole thing. The meat of the matter is there going to be more shootings that happen? Is there going to be a wild, wild west in Florida? Is there going to be more killings from gun violence? I say no. I say no because nothing's going to change. If anything, there will be more defensive shootings than just outright mass shootings or murders or non self defense shootings. Because if I know, and this is what you learn when you carry a gun, You learn the responsibility. If I know the next person may have a firearm, guess what? Me as a attacker gonna do? I'm gonna be less acceptable to attack people if I know more people may have guns where I live or where I want to commit my crime. It is a deterrent to criminals to know that other people have guns because the criminal does not care about the law. They already have guns that they're carrying on them anyways. Law or no law. They already have the gun. But if I know the more people have the ability to have this gun on their or on their any weapon on their person, then I'm going to be less susceptible to do anything to them. You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to go into a situation to take advantage of someone and then have themselves in the line of fire. You know, criminals are cowards. Criminals don't run up on people that know that they know can defend themselves. Criminals like to look for the weak, like to look for the uneducated, like to look for um, the 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 slow one in the pack. You know, speaking about predators and prey. The predator don't go to the strongest wildebeest. The lion don't go to the strongest wildebeest that can run the fastest, that can fight back. It goes to the little one that's lagging behind when the stampede is going on. It goes to the one that's lacking. For a loss of better terms, that one that's lacking. And if you know more people aren't lacking, then you're gonna have to pick and choose who you commit this crime against because this allows more. This is a win for law-abiding citizens. Should you get training? Yes. Should you get training more than one time? Yes. It's like some people should go back to and get retrained on their driving because you know I don't see how you passed. But you know, and does more guns mean more violence? I don't say. People say that America has a lot of gun violence because there's a lot of guns in America. You know what I mean? More guns in America than any other place. It's more guns than people in America. There's more guns than people in America, and there's going to continue to be more guns made. In 2020, the group reported that the estimated total number of overall firearms in civilian possession is 433.9, so 434 million. That figure does not appear to account for guns leaving circulation. You know what I mean? And there's no law that limits the number of guns a person may buy in any given time. You know what I mean? I know people who has guns galore. It's a hobby for some people. It's an expensive hobby. It's a fun hobby, but nevertheless, it's a hobby. And most people are not out committing crimes with guns. That's just point blank, period. Most people are not out committing crimes with guns. That's just not happening. You know what I mean? I was out shooting the other day, somewhere not too far from my house, and the cops called. The sheriff was called on me. I was packing up, getting ready to leave. The she shows up. They say, "Hey man, what you shooting at?" I told him what I was shooting at. He asked me for my permit or my license. Gave him my license. He ran my name. Say, "Hey man, you really can't shoot out here. It has to be your own property. It has to be so much land." Da 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 da. He said, "But you good? Go ahead, man. There's no problem. There's no problem because I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't have any felonies. I don't have any convictions. I don't have any, uh, you know, warrants, and you know what I mean. So it wasn't, And I was out there shooting shooting out there letting loose. You know what I mean? Some big guns. And there was no problem. There was no problem with it. When we come back right after this break, this brief commercial break, we'll be right back with more information. We'll be right back.
Degrees of separation connecting you to the source.
If you want to represent your faith with your fashion, go to gospelgains.com. If you want to show your salvation on your sleeve, gospelgains.com. GOSPELGAINS. Type in the word degrees at checkout. You'll get a 15% discount on your entire purchase. What it is, what it do, man. We back again with the second half. Amen. Y'all know I'm a preacher, man. I keep saying amen. You know I'm a preacher, man. You know I'm a preacher. I keep saying amen. But you know, we have to understand that, and it's political, but I'm not going to get too far into politics. But it's political. In the states that have the strictest gun laws, is the states that have the most violence in them. Gun violence. New York, California, New Jersey, Chicago. The gun violence in those states are outrageous. And those are Democratic ran states. You know what I mean? I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a liberal. I don't identify politically as anything. You know what I mean? I'm not an independent. I'm even an independent. You know what I mean? So, but it's the facts of the matter. The strictest gun laws have the strictest or have the most gun violence. You want to know why? Because as a criminal, I know it's more likely that this person who is harder for them to have a weapon. So I'm going to victimize them because I know it's more likely they don't have a weapon. And if they do have a weapon and they use it on me, guess what? They will be held to the strictest parts of the law. They will be prosecuted for defending themselves because they were not supposed to have a gun, according to the law of that state. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me because you have to understand that this is helping law-abiding citizens to be able to fight back. And people say, well, if there wouldn't be any guns, there wouldn't be so much gun violence. Yeah, but that doesn't eradicate violence. They're saying that they're trying to make it seem like if there wasn't guns, there wouldn't be so much murder, there wouldn't be so much crime. But what was happening before guns were introduced into societies? People were getting stabbed to death. People were getting, all different types of things happening to them. The eradication of guns does not eradicate violence. If you look at places that don't have guns like that, England and Australia and all these other things, there is still violence that goes on in those places. You know what I mean? You look up the stats and see how much violence goes in. You know what I mean? And then also, what makes America unique is that we are able to defend ourselves from tyrannical governments within the United States and without the United States, internal and external. We're able to defend ourselves. We are the freest country on the planet in the history of the world. America is the freest. Are we totally free? Absolutely not. But you want to know why it's such a. I just got back from Tennessee. First time up there, see the mountains. Um, and, there's two reasons why I believe America will never be invaded from a foreign government. If you've traveled anywhere around this great nation of the United States of America, if you've traveled anywhere around, the terrain is so vast and different. America is huge. America, United States of America is gigantic. It takes just one day alone to travel through Texas. Just one day to travel through Texas alone. Um, and that's just one state. It took me 9 hours to drive from the park from where I am in Florida into the mountains in Tennessee, where I stayed for a week for on vacation with my family. It would take forever for any country to invade America. One, because of the land, and two, because of the guns, all the guns that are in America. Man, they don't have to just deal with the Army, the Navy, the Marines. You know what I mean? The Air Force. They don't have to just the other countries don't have to just deal with that. You know what I mean? They have to deal with the citizens, where everybody is armed. You know what I mean? Everybody is armed. That's why America, I believe, will not be invaded. The downfall of America will happen internally because of internal beefs and things of that sort. But it will not. The Bible says that a house will not fall lest it be divided. Speaking in paraphrase, a house divided is a house conquered. That's how America will fall. All this black against white, rich against poor. You know what I mean? All these different classisms, all these different racism type things. That's what will separate and defeat America. Um, but it won't be a government internal or external. It won't be physically through war because everybody can defend themselves. People have people have guns. People have. I was on this website today. Man, this website was selling a flamethrower. If my wife wouldn't trip, I'd buy it because it's cool to have a flamethrower for about $650. A flamethrower, and I thought that was pretty cool, man. And I told my brother and one of my partners about it. They was like, "Oh, I ain't surprised that this company would be selling that." They said they have a little bit of everything on there. That's what's accessible to you. And the gun violence is such a loud minority of people that commit gun violence against people. Look up the statistics, and I'm not here to just to throw out statistics at you. I'm here to just um, have the conversation for you to like all of our conversations are at degree of separation. All of our conversations are here to just lead you further into a further conversation with yourself, with your loved ones, or whomever it is, for you to dig and to do more research, for you to get more information on the decisions that you're going to be making. It's not to just beat some type of statistics into you. It's not to beat some type of ideology into your mind. It's not to give you some type of dogma. It's to open you up to more information, to get understanding, and that's what we're trying to do here at Degree Separation. It's to introduce you to the conversation, into a greater conversation. You know, let's look up how much non-gun violence happens. All right. So we're gonna look up this stuff real quick. Suicides accounted for more than half of U.S. gun deaths in 2021. 43% was murder, 3% was other, and 54% were suicide. Other includes gun deaths that were accidental, involved law enforcement, and had undetermined circumstances. And this is from the CDC. This is from the CDC. Um, about 8 in 10 U.S. murders in 2021, 2,958 out of 26,031, or 81%, involved a firearm. That marked the highest percentage since at least 1968, the earliest year for the CDC has online records. More than half of all suicides in 2021, 26,328 out of 48,183, or 55%, also involved the gun, the highest percentage since. So people, for the majority, the people aren't killing other people. People are using it to kill themselves. And I know that may be a sensitive subject to some, but that's not a gun problem. That's a mental health problem, mental illness problem. They just so happen to use a gun to do it. You know what I mean? Um, so um, that's not a gun problem. That's not a gun problem at all. So I'm gonna read this one. While 2021 saw the highest total number of gun deaths in the United States, this statistic does not take into account the nation's growing population. One, a per capita basis, there were 14.6 gun deaths per 100,000 people in 2021, the highest rate since the early 1990s, but still well below the peak of 16.3 gun deaths per 100,000 people in 1974. The gun murder rate in the U.S. remains below its peak level despite rising sharply during the pandemic. There were 6.7 gun murders per 100,000 people in 2021, below 7.2 recorded in 1974. The statistics showing you that this is not a real problem. What happens is the media sensationalizes different events that are happening in society. They sensationalize, and it's very sad. Don't get me wrong. Um, I'm not being insensitive to the mass shootings that are shown to us in are not even the ones that are not even shown to us in America. But they sensationalize these things. You have to understand that media is there for a purpose, and I'm not going to get into all of that. But media is there to show you what they want to show you, so that you can have a feeling that they want you to have, so that they can do things that they want to do. You know what I mean? The statistics show that it's not a gun problem. There's not a gun problem. There's a people problem, meaning that there are people that decide that they're going to ruin other people's lives by committing crimes against them. If there was no guns, guess what? People would still commit those acts that will ruin people's lives. They've been doing it. They're gonna do it. They're doing it right now. But what we can do is make sure that you, as a law-abiding citizen, as a mom, as a dad, as a grandparent, as an aunt, as a sister, as a brother, as a preacher, as a janitor, as a teacher, as whatever it is that you are in society, are equipped to defend yourself against the people that want to decide to ruin your life and others around you. Guess what? Guns are not going anywhere anytime soon. It is virtually impossible for them to corral, what was the number? 400 something million guns. It's about 320,000. Excuse me. It's about 330 million people in America. There's over 440 million guns in America, if I can remember the number right, correctly. They're not going to be able to gather all those guns. People are not giving up their guns. They're not going to be able to turn the Second Amendment like that. People are going to fight for the Second Amendment. Guns aren't going anywhere. So your best bet is to get you a gun, get you some training, and know how to defend yourself against the few that want to ruin your day, your life, and the people around you. Am I for constitutional carry? Yes. Am I for training and further training? Yes. I just bought a new gun a couple of weeks ago, and I had to train with it. That's what I was out shooting for. Training with it, getting used to it. Now I have a guy that I work with. He bought uh, a gun during the pandemic when everything was crazy. Nice gun, and he says up until this point he's never shot it, never touched it. He has 6 magazines loaded, ready for something to pop off. I say, man, you crazy, bro. You got to know how to use that thing. I say, if somebody break in your house right now and jeopardize your life and your life of your children, you wouldn't know how to defend yourself. Because you're gonna start fidgeting and you don't know how to load it, you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that. If there's a malfunction, what do? You cannot operate that thing under high stress situations without training with it. I say, man, he's like, man, I need somebody to go with. I said, bro, and he had to. I think he went to get. Yeah, he had the training, but he's never done anything after that, and it's been 2-3 years since he's bought it, but he's never touched it. But I say, bro, man, if I go shoot with you, I go with you. I say, watch, man. There's so many educational YouTube videos for you to get familiarize yourself with your protection. You know what I mean? So get you some protection if you're comfortable with it. If you're not comfortable with it, take the class to see if you will be comfortable with it. Once you take the class and then your instructor lets you shoot, then you know, you might say, hey, this is for me. Hey, this is not for me. You can take um, different measures to protect yourself. Mace, you know what I mean? A stun, a taser, dogs, alarm system. I have an alarm system. My wife want a dog. I don't want one. I have 5 children. I'm probably gonna give in and get a dog. But if I'm as a criminal knocking on your door or trying to kick in your door and I hear a dog in there, I'm going to not want to go in there with the dog. I'm not talking about one of those. I'm talking about, you know, one of them. One of them Cujos. I'm going to choose another house. If I see that you have an alarm system, I'm going to choose another house. If I hear the cocking of a shotgun, I'm going to I'm going to choose another house. You know what I mean? Reinforce your doors. You know, it's different measures. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But if it's not for you, that doesn't mean that you have to try to make it not for everyone else. So, you know, that's what it is. That's what it is. You know, that's the conversation. Those are some of the statistics. Those are some of the scenarios. Make your own decision. Get training, but by all means, protect yourself. You can find us at Degrees of Separation on everything. That's DEGREEZ. Degrees of Separation on Instagram, on Facebook, Degrees of Separation on YouTube. All one word. Degrees of Separation. DEGREEZ of Separation. 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 Man, hit us up on our Cash App, Intellect One $sign NTELLECT, the number one, Intellect One on Instagram. Please excuse me for on Cash App. We may be 1 or 2 degrees separated from each other, but when it comes to God, there should be 0 degrees of separation. And we out.
Degrees of separation connecting you to the source.